Good morning, Doc. Good morning, classmates. So, I am Mary Grace Jumares Sinjurhas, and today I will answer the question about evaluating instructional design. When do we evaluate? But before that, let me introduce to you first my learning objectives. So, my learning objectives is to identify different types of formative assessment, learn when to evaluate instruction, and practice the different types of evaluation. So now, let us answer the question, when do we evaluate? So there are three commonly used types of evaluation that are formative, summative, and confirmative evaluation. So, formative evaluation is conducted during the design process to provide feedback that informs the design process. So, formative evaluation occurs during instructional design. It is a process of evaluating instruction and instructional materials to obtain feedback that in turn drives revision to make instruction more efficient and effective. One way to think about this is to liken it to a chef tasting his food before he sends it out to the customer. In Marizon 2019, explained that the formative evaluation process utilizes data from media, instruction, and learner engagement to formulate a picture of learning from which the designer can make changes to the product before the final implementation. In Boston 2022, page 2, stated that the purpose of formative evaluation, as all activities that teachers and students undertake to get information that can be used diagnostically to alter teaching and learning. Formative evaluation results in the improvement of instructional processes for the betterment of the learner. While making formative changes are best conducted during earlier stages of the design process, these changes may come later if the situation dictates, according to Marizon. When summative and confirmative evaluations demonstrate undesirable effects, then the results may be used as a formative evaluation tool to make improvements. So next is summative evaluation. Summative evaluation is conducted at the end of the design process to determine if the instructional product achieves the intended outcomes. And confirmative evaluation is conducted over time to determine the lasting effects of instruction. So now let's dig deeper about formative evaluation. There are 5 types of formative evaluation. First is connoisseur-based, decision-based, objective-based, constructivist, and developmental. So now, what is connoisseur-based? It is a term used in the field of curriculum evaluation and research to denote a heightened sense of awareness of the subtleties of various educational and curricular phenomena. The term was coined by Elliot Eisner in the early 1980s. It employs subject matter experts in the review of performance objectives, instruction and assessment to verify learning, instructional analysis, context accuracy, material appropriateness, test item validity, and sequencing. Each of these items allows the designer to improve the organization and flow of instruction, the accuracy of content, readability of materials, instructional process, and total effectiveness. Next is decision-oriented. So according to Marasan et al. 2019, decision-oriented questions asked may develop out of the professional knowledge of an instructional designer or design team. These questions subsequently require the designer to develop further tools to assess the question, and as such should be completed at a time when change is still an option and financially prudent. And now let's move on to objective-based. So objective-based, through an examination of the goals of the course of instruction, the success of the learner's performance may be analyzed. And constructivist takes into an action the skills students learn during the learning process, as well as how they have assimilated what is learned into their real lives. And developmental. According to Patton 2011, developmental is responsive to context and more agile, allowing for a quicker response and support of innovative designs. So, summative evaluation. Summative evaluation is conducted at the end of the design process to determine if the instructional product achieves the intended outcomes. So, let's define more about summative evaluation. According to Dick et al. 2015, page 320, claimed that the ultimate summative evaluation questions is, did it solve the problem? That is the essence of summative evaluation. Continuing with the chef analogy from above, one asked, did the customer enjoy the food? According to M. Scriven, 1991, the parties involved in the evaluation take the data and draw a conclusion about the effectiveness of the design instruction. However, over time, summative evaluation has developed into a process that is more complex than the initial question may be let on. In modern instructional design, practitioners investigate multiple questions through assessment to determine learning effectiveness, learning efficiency, and cost effectiveness, as well as the attitudes and reactions to learning. So, learning effectiveness in summative evaluation. Learning effectiveness measures the learning and can be ascertained from assessment, ratings of projects, and performance observations of learners' behavior, and of course surveys, focus groups, and interviews. According to Dick et al. 2015, it outlined a comprehensive plan for summative evaluation throughout the design process, including collecting data and during field trials of feedback. Learning efficiency and cost efficiency. Learning efficiency and cost efficiency of effectiveness instruction is certainly a distinct construct. The successfulness of the former impacts. So, learning efficiency and cost effectiveness of instruction are certainly distinct constructs. A successfulness of the former impacts of the latter. Learning efficiency is a matter of resources. For example, time, instructors, facilities, or etc., and how those resources are used within the instruction to reach the goal of the successful instruction. According to Dick et al. 2015, it recommended comparing the materials against the organization's needs, target group, and resources. The result is the analysis of the data to make a final conclusion about the cost effectiveness based on any other prescribed formulas. So when do we apply confirmative evaluation? The purpose of confirmative evaluation is to determine if the instruction is effective and if it met the organization's defined instructional needs. In effect, did it solve the problem? The customer ate the food and enjoyed it, but did it come back? Confirmative evaluation goes beyond the scope of formative and summative evaluation and looks for whether the long-term effects of instruction is what the organization was hoping to achieve. Is instruction affecting behavior or providing learners with the skills needed as determined by the original goals of the instruction? Confirmative evaluation methods may not differ much from formative and summative outside of the fact that it occurs after implementation of the design. Mosley and Solomon 1997 described confirmative evaluation as maintaining focus on what is important to your stakeholders and ensuring the expectations for learning continue to be met. So, that's all my report. This is Mary Grace Chamada Centuryhas. So, before I end this report, let me leave you this quote from Bill First. Every child should have the opportunity to receive a quality education. So, thank you for listening and God bless us all.